Views from the friend zone. I'm trying to reach the end zone. You think I'm kinda sweet and you wanna be friends though? It's cool though. Just don't try to play me for no fool, yo. Views from the friend zone. I'm trying to reach the end zone. You think I'm kinda sweet and you wanna be friends though? It's cool though. Just don't try to play me for no fool, yo. Yeah. Welcome to another edition of the Views from the Friend Zone podcast. Happy Sunday, y'all. It's Labor Day weekend. Shout out to all my Caribbean massive. You see, I got the Haitian flag on representing the home island and the team. You know what I'm saying? You know, another beautiful episode. Hope you guys are enjoying Labor Day. You know, out there about the... Is Juve tonight?
Juve's tonight, yeah.
All right, be safe. Don't get shot. If a girl doesn't want you to touch her, don't touch her. Don't wind up upon nobody else's woman. We want you safe. You know what I'm saying? We want you to enjoy the weekend, but you also want you to have to go back to work on Tuesday, not be in the emergency room. The judges aren't going to be in till Tuesday, so you'll spend, Labor Day in jail if you don't keep your hands to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So as always, I'm going to have the team introduce themselves, starting with my boy to the left.
It's your boy Cliff Brockman.
It's your boy Real Talk Marv, our guest.
Jennifer.
Amanda, a.k.a. Greedy Gut.
Yes. Open Shirt Poppy is late. He'll be here in a few minutes, but the show must go on, you know what I'm saying? You know, the parade's going to keep going even if you're not there, so Open Shirt Poppy will begin shortly. We're going to have our beautiful guest introduce herself and let us know a little about what you got going on.
Thank you. I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity. My name is Jennifer, and I am a self-published author. I have a book called Inherited Dysfunctions, my first one. It wasn't easy, but, I had a lot of work to do, and I just appreciate the opportunity because it's not easy being a self-published author because you have to promote yourself. There's no...
I'm a self-published author as
nice.
well, so I know the grind.
Yes.
I did a radio run when I put out my book for a while, so I know how hard it is.
It's very, very difficult.
The work never ends.
No, and I'm learning new ways. Like, I'm starting a YouTube channel, like different things to try to plug myself in because I don't have the plugs.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm trying to do anything I can to get it out there. Like, because I don't have that. I'm not a good salesperson. So I'm
it's
trying.
Fine. It's a work in progress. Like you know, to sell your product, to sell what you got going on. Mm-hmm. Also, we're a brand here. We're also still growing, so we always like to work with people. We're trying to get the word out there. So tell us a little bit in 30 seconds. Tell us about the book.
Okay. So basically, it's a fiction book. I guess you can consider it urban fiction. Okay. And it's about a young girl who was raised in a family of dysfunction. You know, her mom's on drugs, her dad's a drug dealer, and it's basically talking about how she had to grow up in that lifestyle. And then she comes across many different hurdles, and she finds herself in a situation where she now has to save her family and try to break that dysfunction, but she's finding herself falling into the same patterns as her family.
Hence inherited dysfunction.
Right?
Yes. That does sound good.
Definitely, yes, and we all have the dysfunction in the family, so it's it's very relatable. It seems
like it's a generational thing sometimes.
Yes.
So inherited dysfunction is a great title.
Absolutely, it passes down, and it's like it's up to you to break that cycle, or some people just fall right into the same. Yep, they fall right into the same pattern.
I have a question before we start the show. Who are your literary influences?
I'll say the number one is Terry Woods.
Nice.
I read True to the Game.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody read True to the Game.
Oh my God!
It's
Believe it or not, I read it when I was 12.
That's
okay.
Young, but I knew better. I'm like, it's just a book, don't. But I was just like, this is everything I want to do. Like, it was so amazing. Like, it was like a movie as I read it. Like, you saw everything that she wrote, and I was like, I have to do that one day, and that inspired it.
Yeah. So I published a book. I like to write as well. Sister Soldier, The Coldest Winter Ever, was a big influence for me.
Yes. I'm ashamed I haven't read that one.
Well, it's really good,
That's another hood
It's
classic.
a series like, Midnight, and she has a series of those books. And Eric Jerome Dickey is my favorite author.
Yes.
How about you guys, before we start the show? Like,
I read some of the books.
Who's your favorite author?
Actually, Edgar Allan Poe.
That's mad.
She
I'm
made
a
us
goody two shoes. I'm a good student. Edgar Allan Poe.
talking hood books.
We will never dismiss education. We will never knock down education. But that's such a teacher's pet answer.
It's true. It's true.
What about you,
That
Claire?
was a good one.
My favorite author is Marvin's Benam.
Ah, you see? Holding me down. Holding me down. Shameless plug. Where the Sun Doesn't Shine is my book. You can find it on Amazon. Where can we find your book?
Also
On
at
Amazon.
Amazon, yes. If you have Kindle devices, you can download it. If you have Kindle Unlimited, it's free. Can't
Okay,
argue
cool.
with free.
Nice.
At
Okay.
all.
So we're gonna get into the show, and like I said, later on we'll come back to like where people can get your book and then more
Absolutely.
things like that. So
Okay.
the first topic that we're going to discuss is single shaming, right? Because when you reach a certain age, I never ask a woman her age, but when you reach a certain age, like in your 30s, and you tell someone you're single, they like, oh, okay. And if you're single and don't have no children, it's just like, what's wrong with this monster kind of thing? Which is unfair, right? Because now in our day and age, when you're chasing your career or that grind, sometimes relationships get pushed to the side, or relationship don't work. You got to keep pushing, right? It's not the old age where, like, if a woman is not married or have children at a certain age, she's like a cast-off kind of thing. They have this ugly. It's funny because when I got married in Jamaica, on the wedding, licenses, the man is called a bachelor where you sign, but the woman's called a spinster.
Wow.
How ugly is that, right?
Right.
You call the unmarried, it's called a spinster.
Okay.
Literally on the marriage license it says spinster, which us makes us think it's some old person like spinning, making quilts somewhere in a back room, right? So
Wow.
anyway, I'm in a group and we posted like, there was certain reasons why people are single, and it just seems so limited. So I was just like, why do we single shame people, especially of a certain age? Most of the cast, we're in our 30s, so it's kind of like we have the perspective of our 30s. So the first sub question is, why do we judge people over 30 who are single? Ladies first, and we'll have our guests go first.
Let's go first.
I haven't reached 30 yet, almost. But to me, I feel like maybe because at that age you feel like we have this ideal thing, like you should be established at that age. That's the age where your job is thriving, you settling down, you have children. So I think to hear after 30, it's like, why are you still single? Like, what's wrong with you? I don't know. Maybe it's like a cliche. You're supposed to be organized and settled in after 30, maybe. I don't know.
What do you think, Amanda?
Can you repeat the question again?
So, why do we judge people over 30 who are single? And not us, but like society.
Society judge,
Yes.
just like she said, like I feel like at a certain, I don't feel, but people feel like at a certain age you should be established, you should have a house, at least engaged, on your way to marriage or already married. So I think that they put those type of standards on people in their 30s.
I feel like, like people who are married and have children and stuff like that, sometimes they look at single people and they kind of be judgmental, like, why are you not part of this kind of club? My thing is like, everybody's journey is different.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because there's a lot of people who are stuck in marriages who are miserable, but they have the title of being married.
Married.
So they
Right,
walk
right,
around with their
right.
chest
Chest
out,
up,
like, oh, I'm married, but you're miserable.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And you and your partner are both cheating on each other. I mean, not saying all marriages are like that,
Yeah.
but people who are married, and if you're married with children, just feel like, you made it to the pinnacle of what society wants from you.
I have a question for you guys. You
Okay.
both are married and you're in 30s. We're all around the same age. Do you look at us, your single friends, like that? Like, damn, why she's not married yet?
I think, and this is probably going to get me in trouble later. I think some married people, we kind of like envy the single people because it's just like, it sounds bad, right? But sometimes you see single people and you see them like, there's so much freedom in being single. There's so much opportunities of, going and coming as you choose, kind of stuff like that. But when you're married, you also have that stability. You have that comfort. So I wouldn't trade away being married for anything. But sometimes, it's just like the grass is always greener. Single people always like, sometimes I wish I had stay home, lockdown boo situation.
Yeah.
But there's sometimes when you realizing you out, like we said, thotting season is just finishing. When you out thot and you enjoy that thot life, if you was married, you couldn't thot. What about you?
We don't shame them, but the thing is, like, marriage is tough. It's not always cookies and cream. Just because on social media everything looks happy and everything, it seems like it's a great foundation, but it's a work in progress. So sometimes you see single people, and guys and girls, you're like, damn. You feel like you got to answer somebody. I have a hard time answering to my wife sometimes why I'm doing this, and then she understands it later. So you don't shame them all the time, but sometimes you look at it and say, you know what, I wish I didn't have to answer to somebody. Sometimes being in marriage, you feel like you got a boss. So
especially as a husband.
Especially.
I think one of the best things for me as being a husband, like, having a wife, it made me also be better as far as, like, having women bosses. Because, some men are stuck in old-fashioned ways where they have trouble reporting into a woman and stuff. But I always feel like, you know what, I want to get the job done. I want to be happy. So, I could easily answer to a woman and easily, speak to her, being at the same time be respectful. And I think part of that training is being a husband.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, you have some men walking around who are husbands who are like, oh, I'm the king of my castle and stuff like that. But when you have that attitude, you're never really a happy person. You could think that, you throwing your weight around and stuff like that. But if your wife is not happy, any married man out there, when your wife is not happy, you're not happy by default.
Amen.
Fact. Fact.
And there's nothing worse than that awkward silence at home where you ignoring problems. So happy wife, happy life. You know what I'm saying? So another question we have is they say that if you're single, it's because of these 3 reasons. 1, you're stuck on someone. 2, you're chasing after someone who's taken. Or 3, you're ignoring someone who wants you. Do y'all guys think that's true?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so expand upon that. So let me repeat that so you have, right? It says, they say you're still single because of 3 reasons. 1, you're stuck on someone. 2, you're chasing after someone who's taken. Or 3, you're ignoring someone who wants you. Do you think it's true? And if, are you single?
I am.
Okay, so you guys are both single, so you guys can both answer this. Which of the 3 do you think applies to you? And if it's not one of the 3, what is the reason why you're single? So go ahead, Amanda.
It's really not one of the 3, but C would probably be in that category.
And C was ignoring someone who wants you.
Yeah. Not really ignoring, but I dread dating. I hate going out on dates. It's annoying. The repetitive questions and getting to know someone. And once you get to know them and whatever happens, if they're not of your liking or vice versa, it doesn't work out, you got to redo it again. So I usually say no to dates.
Hey, you know what? You know what's the thing? A lot of people are in marriages or staying in marriages because they want to start the process over again.
Yeah, it's a process.
Like, I'm coming up on 10 years. It's like I did a dime. It's like, I know that sounds like a prison sentence, right?
All right.
But it's like you did 10 years with someone, and then now it's just like starting over.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
Breaking your old ways.
Yeah.
Learning someone's ways, learning how to deal with, someone's quirks, just like someone dealing with your quirks. So it's like really hard. It's not to say that, you should stay in a situation that's not happy, but I feel like before you break such a long bond, you should ask yourself, like, what am I contributing to my unhappiness?
Right.
Because I always say happiness starts with you.
Always.
I don't care how great your partner is. If you're miserable, you're gonna be miserable. Your partner could make you smile and brighten up moments, but you have to control your own happiness.
Absolutely correct.
So
Okay, oh boy.
so
Hot seat.
do you need me to repeat the 3 options,
No,
or do
'cause
you know which one applies to you?
I already know which one applies to me. Oh God, I'm gonna get so many messages after this. I don't want to say the first one, which was what you still stuck on somebody.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of that. Like I was in a very long-term relationship.
Okay.
And that whole starting over process is like you get so accustomed to that person, and you're so comfortable, and it's like now this whole dating thing is just like you find yourself comparing the people that you're dating to the person that you used to have.
Yeah.
And it makes it so difficult because it's like, okay, don't do that. You know, he's not, you know, who you were with before. But I would have to definitely say that the date, I don't think I'm a dating person. I'm just a relationship kind of, that whole process of trying to date and get to know the person and get comfortable. It's so annoying. Like they say you'll like them and then they say the wrong thing. It's like, okay, that's it.
Exactly.
Especially after you reach a certain age, right? The only thing I can say as someone who's married in his 30s and like anything that, you know, I don't envy single people who are in their 30s up age. It's just like, you're at this age where you're just like, you good. You know yourself. You know when the weekend comes, you in your head you think you about to turn up, but you really about to just chill kind of thing. And then when you're starting to date again, it's just like you have to drag yourself out the house. You have to, like, you know, try these new things, which is not a bad thing, but it's just like,
the process.
You know?
It's a big headache.
It's a big headache. I avoid
even though we're not single, you know, if I could give an opinion on why do I think people are still single the most is, I think being stuck on that past experience that, you know, either went bad or you wish went another way, right? Because sometimes it's just like, man, such and such was so great, but you know, you messed up that situation, and now it's just like, man. You have to tell yourself, do I move on completely? Do I try to repair that situation? And, that, you know, sometimes we get stuck on that.
That never happened to me, by the way.
Huh?
That never happened to me.
Really?
I felt like, you know.
All right. So we have Open Shirt Poppy in the building.
Hello. How are you? Hey. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So the question that you walked in on, because you're single and you're okay. You know what?
He's trying to figure it out.
I assumed something. I assumed that. So we'll let Clifford answer, and then we'll get to Mike, right? So the question is, why do you think people are you know, stay single? And the question was, you're stuck on someone, you're chasing after someone who's taken, you're ignoring someone who wants you. I think a lot of times people stay single because the expectation they're expecting is they try to set the bar too high, right? So there's no perfect relationship. There's no perfect guy. There's no perfect girls, right? Because everybody, the first couple months in a relationship, everything start great. He doing this to impress her. She's doing that. And then when you get to really know the person, you're like, hold on. Do I want to go to the long haul with this person? So that's why a lot of times people get false hope. So I think that's what leads to people being single.
Did you say people set the bar too high?
People set the bar too high.
You can't set the bar too high for somebody you want to be with.
Listen, there's 100% you can set the bar too high. You know why I say that? Because
but to piggyback on what he's saying, it may sound harsh when you say you set the bar too high, right? Because we all deserve our kings or our queens and stuff like that.
That's a fact.
But once you live life and you ask yourself, damn, all the things that I had on my checklist to do in life, did I accomplish? You start to say, you know what? I haven't. So you readjust your life aspirations. You also have to do that when you're looking for partners. Like being in your 30s, how many, if you're out there looking, how many women with no children, no crazy exes, never married, limited sex partners, are you going to find that?
I'm not saying you gotta, I absolutely understand what you're saying. You set the bar too high as far as nobody's perfect. So if you're looking for the perfect mate, it ain't out there. You know, I don't believe in that whole soulmate stuff. I think that's like a facade people be chasing. But what I'm saying is, if you want somebody who you can click with and are somewhat of a perfect match for you, I don't feel nothing's wrong with continually trying to take that road and find that.
But how you gonna listen?
This part that 80-20. Oh, they give me most of what I want.
How you gonna find that if you jump in shit? Because listen, the first 3 months, everybody's an actor. Everybody's Academy Award winner in a relationship.
Yeah,
real talk.
That's your
once everybody gets
like
comfortable,
at work, 90 days.
Everybody
Once you make 90
get comfortable,
days, you show your
everybody's
ass.
like, you know what? I got her. He got me. And this is how it's gonna rock out now. And now you gotta adjust. So you ain't gonna know if you keep jumping ship. Like, you gotta take a chance to say, you know what? as somebody older, when you're younger, you could jump shit, whatever. When you 30, so you ain't got to. You gotta go to work. You gotta go this.
So maybe standards sounded harsh,
the age
but when
thing. So
so
when you're
yeah,
younger,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay to jump ship and
When
not
you listen,
stick it out. But when you get over 30, it's like
listen. When you're younger, at a certain age, it's okay to jump ship and do that. When you older, it's not okay because listen, time is limited. You could be wasting 4 or 5 years with somebody, and you want to have kids. And a woman who's 34, 35, well, she got kids at 40 because she wasting time with this dude. It's different. Time is definitely unlimited.
So let him answer the question. So the question is, right? They said that you're single because of one of these 3 options. 1, you're stuck on someone. 2, you're chasing after someone who's taken. 3, you're ignoring someone who wants you. Is this true for you? And if not, why are you still single? But you told me, am I still single? So you checked me for a second.
I'm still single. None of those. Well,
So
number
what
3
is
might
your
be
D?
true, but the rest is no, definitely not. I think I'm single because it's a choice, and I have been somebody. I don't jump ship. Like I've been married. I was married for 7 years. I divorced. I married for kind of the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? And I rushed it, which a lot of people do, and they end up trying to stick it out and saying, "Well, I got to make this work. Got to make this work." Then 15, 20 years later, they're like, "I can't make it work." You done wasted a lot of time.
Yeah.
You know?
We just talked about, like, doing 10 years in a relationship and then breaking up and starting. So why do you feel that you're single?
Because I can't get it right.
One of the most honest men in America who admits he can't get it right.
I mean, it's like every relationship I get, I correct one of the issues that I have. But there's multiple issues, so I need to correct them faster. You know what I'm saying?
So are you part of the Waste Her Time 2018 movement?
I don't waste nobody's time because I'm completely honest. You can't waste anybody's time if you're honest with them. You see what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
If I tell you what it is.
Women especially, and not to be, I don't want to sound sexist, but sometimes men show you their true qualities and you're like, you know what? I'm going to make him change. Okay. That's on you to feel you could go on that road. But a lot of times, especially in the age that we are now, the people, what people show you, that's who they are. So believe that. So we're gonna ask the last question on this topic. Right? How long is too long being single, and is there such a thing? Because they're saying, like, especially when you're older, the longer you stay single, the more likely you're like to say, F it, man. This is who I am, kind of thing. See, because when you're younger, you're willing to try new things because you don't have the callous on your heart. Your heart still feel like, I'm ready for another opportunity. You get kind of older, like, like speaking for you, for example. You've been married already. You have your children and stuff like that. So you're not rushing to, like, I need to be married again kind of thing. Because you had that experience. You have your children. So now in a relationship, you're looking to get what you really want. So the question is, how long is being single for too long? And is that such a thing?
That's a fact.
I don't think
Start off with letting us know how long you've been single.
3 years.
3 years.
It'll be 3.5
That's
years.
kind of too long. But go ahead. So tell us.
Oh, why do you feel like that's too long? I feel like it all depends on the person. It doesn't depend on anything else but the person. 3 years, I'm fine with that. Like, I'm okay with that. I don't think there should be a time frame or saying being single for too long. I don't think there's any such thing as that.
Okay. What about you, Jennifer?
For me, it's gonna be 2 years.
Okay.
I've been single. And at first, I got to the point where it's like, F it, I can't, like, there's nothing out there. But I think I actually am learning to appreciate this because speaking personally for myself, I was in a very long-term relationship. So I have to now find myself as a woman, as a single woman, without having that person by your side 24/7 all the time. So it's like, to me, I'm taking this time to figure out who's Jennifer, like who am I at this point, because I didn't do that. And then I'm also learning to love myself. Like,
that's the
Which
best
is key.
time.
yeah, like
Which
I
is
think
key.
I think I loved that person more than I loved myself, and that's a big problem.
It's always lopsided, though.
Yeah.
Every relationship's
Right.
lopsided. For you to say that you love someone the same way they loved you, That's nice to think, but there's always some kind of lopside
Right.
in the situation. So how long have you been single, and do you think it's too? Well, you
Actually-
haven't been single.
No, I
for
haven't
that
been
long.
single that long. My
But
last
how long do you
relationship-
think it's too long? Do you think that's such a
Let
thing?
me see. My last relationship ended the end of April, so it's not that long. No, these time limits we put on these things is crazy. It's absolutely good that she says she's trying to find herself and find out who she is.
Yeah.
You can't put a time limit on that. You know, when she finds who she is and then she's ready to get into a relationship, that's the right time.
Yeah.
If she rushes it or does it earlier, that relationship is doomed to fail.
You're gonna make the same mistakes you made
Yeah.
in the relationships prior.
Exactly. And then I want to speak to the point of, you said this good, finding yourself is key. I know somebody who is married, been married for a few years, and now their, spouse is finding themselves. And they doing all types of different things.
Yeah.
And it's causing issues within the marriage. Once you commit to that and say I'm
But that
getting
happens.
married,
That happens
you
to
can't
the
find
best.
yourself.
That happens to the best of us.
Yes,
part of marriage,
bro.
though.
You gotta find y'all self.
Yeah,
because
but-
there's no more you.
100%.
You can't find yourself.
Listen.
Go ahead.
Nah, we ain't go because we could talk after the show.
No. No, but the reason why, I understand, and that's another component that people have to realize that comes into a marriage, right? Because you guys have to grow together, and sometimes part of people's growth and journey, they get confused. You have an ideal set of what you think your marriage is supposed to be, and then hiccups happen, career hiccups, losses happen for people during the relationship, and people react to certain, roadblocks in the journey differently. But, finding yourself is not necessarily a negative thing, because you have to be personally happy to be able to be happy in a relationship.
Sometimes finding yourself sometimes moves you away from your significant other, though.
But maybe that's
I'm
what
saying.
the journey's apart. It's crazy, because sometimes, even in my marriage, sometimes, I'll tell my wife, like, she's looking for something, or, she's trying to learn something. I'm just like, go experience that kind of thing. Maybe your journey doesn't include me. And she's like, oh, you trying to get rid of me? I'm like, no. But at the same time, I'm not going to be the person who's married because I clamp you down and I prevented you from growing. If you can grow and sprout your wings and we stay together, that's a beautiful thing. But part of that process is, how bad is it as if in order to, to stay with me, you limited your growth? Then you're going to look at me like, yo, I could have been such and such, but this motherfucker held me down.
The sacrifices. When you get married, this is you sacrifice.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready to sacrifice. This you got to be real with. You got to sacrifice to make that work.
So, Mark, you think you can find yourself when you're in a marriage, and you can find yourself?
I mean, I don't think you can sexually find yourself. You can't sexually find yourself in a marriage. Like,
Not
I need to go out
sexually,
there
but
and suck some joints. But you know what I mean?
the question.
There's limitations to
Listen.
finding yourself.
But just
Listen, 100%, right? Y'all, I was married. My brother was my best man. You came to my wedding, whatever. Boom. Listen, and this is real talk. After I got married, the next day I went on my honeymoon. I came back. I went to my man's bachelor party. After that, after 7 days, I went to my man's bachelor party. Because first of all, when I got married, I was still hanging out with single friends and still turning up. Right, so it took, honestly, seeing the birth of my daughter to say, you know what, shit is real now. You know what I'm saying? All the fuckboy games, because that's something explains. All the fuckboy games gotta stop. You understand? So sometimes you can find yourself in a marriage. I was still doing single shit. I left Costa Rica for 7 days. We turned up at my wedding, everything. We came back. I told her up. I dropped at the crib up. I'm going to my man. My man's having a bachelor party, and I could talk about it now because the level of communication we have now. I'm more to be honest. I'm gonna let listeners. I'm going out tonight.
Yeah.
So that's what you can find yourself in a marriage. I'm the prime example. Y'all know. Trust me. I used to be the guy they call to find out I'm gonna be here. They call me to find the places. I don't do that anymore. This is not my lifestyle. So you can find yourself.
Just to sum up this topic before we move on to the next topic, I don't think it's too long. There's a too long to be single. I do think, though, if you're single 3-4 years and you're not dating anyone at all, you're not attempting to date and stuff like that, then I feel like you're becoming antisocial and you're really cocooning yourself. You know, putting yourself in a cocoon and not allowing yourself to grow. Not saying you got to go out there and thought, but you know what I'm saying? If you're
Love
single,
that
enjoy
word,
that thought.
thought.
That hole over there,
Love that
that is
word,
a beautiful acronym to me. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next topic, right? So the next topic is stepping out of your comfort zone, and I feel like that's something myself I'm learning to do. I think a lot of times once we reach our 30s or late 20s, early 30s, we start like, I got to stop trying to live up to other people's expectations. I got to stop living up to what mommy and daddy wanted for me, and I got to really be who I'm supposed to be. Doing this show helped me step out of my comfort zone because it's just like I always wanted to have a voice to, a mass audience or have discussion about these things. Like a lot of the topics we talk about is like shit that I know everybody wants to talk about. So let's just talk about it kind of thing, and I think a lot of times we don't have people we can have these conversations with, or we kind of like stop having these conversations and it gets stuck in our head. So the first subtopic of the question, stepping out of the comfort zone, is what new hobby or activity do you feel like you want to try? Jennifer?
Well, I'll say I don't know if YouTube's really a hobby, but the whole
it could be a hobby. It could
hobby.
be an income or a job as well.
Try to make that happen.
Yeah.
This whole thing with writing the book, that was me stepping out of my comfort zone, because when I wrote it, I just wrote it for myself. Like, I didn't have the confidence, like, it's going to sell, people are going to support it. It was just like, this is just for me. Ain't nobody going to take this serious. Yeah. So that was...
The book. Yeah.
That was like a big deal for me. And to start a YouTube channel, like, I'm not a very... I talk, but I'm not shy, but it's uncomfortable for me. So doing this, all of these different things that I'm doing now is a huge way of stepping out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, that's good. What about you, Amanda?
Heights. I hate roller coasters, bungee jumping.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of heights either.
Jumping out of airplanes. I want to try getting over that. That's stepping out of my comfort zone big time. I won't even get on a goddamn water
another
slide
thing
when
of
I go to
stepping
water
out of my
parks.
comfort zone, right, is just like, shout out to the Realist radio show, pregame radio. Some of the people I met from there, they're doing a web series called The Old Domino Effect, which will be out, and I'm going to have a guest spot on there. And I say that to say this, like, acting and doing creative things is stepping out of my comfort zone. Because I've always was a fool. I wrote plays in college and stuff like that. So to be able to just jump in and just act and be part of a creative process is just like, you know what? Because a lot of times we see people do these big things and we think like, wow. Obviously, I'm not in Hollywood and stuff but you see how huge things are, and you always think it's so ungrabbable. But we just have to go out, put it out there. You may fail, but then you learn from that failure. What about you, Mike?
I can't really relate. I'm always one who just do.
That's why he's open shirt poppy.
Nah, I'll try anything once, and I've always been that way. I recently, took a real risk. You know what I mean? I left the job I was at for like 15 years, and it's like I needed my peace of mind. So I'll just get up and say, you know what? I'm going to Tibet. I don't like it here no more.
Yeah.
Something crazy like that.
Yeah.
I've jumped out of planes. I've done crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So.
What about you, Cliff? Like, what new hobby or activity do you feel like you want to try?
I think I'm like the same as Mike a little bit when it comes to that. Like, stepping out of my comfort zone, I'm always comfortable in the situation, or I'm always gonna get comfortable no matter what. So I can't really answer the question. So
like I said, acting, like I wrote a book just like Jennifer, and then I also want to see that book maybe become a web series or a movie kind of thing, Yeah. So it's just like, I just feel like, stepping out of your comfort zone, don't be afraid to try something, and then don't let the reaction of the people around you determine if it's successful or not, right? Because, like I said, I've had people who was just like, oh, I saw your little radio show, and they threw the little in there to kind of, like gut check you. And it's just like, you know what? That's cool. I didn't take it that personal, but I just realized not everyone's going to see your vision. Not everyone's going to be equally happy for you doing your things. But like I said, do you feel good doing it? Are you learning from it? Are you growing from it? Those are the kind of things that you should ask yourself when you're stepping out of your comfort zone. So the next question is, do you feel like you've become less outgoing in your 30s or more outgoing?
More
Well, you're not in
outgoing.
more
She's
outgoing.
in her 30s, though.
Well, not yet,
But you know,
I'm
you're
pushing,
that
I'm
age
pushing.
range, right? So
Absolutely. It's definitely more like a lot of things I'm doing I would have never done, would have never had the confidence, especially in this day and age of social media where everybody got an opinion about you.
Yeah.
It makes things so hard, and I never thought I would be, comfortable enough to do this. So I'm definitely way more confident, more outgoing.
What about you, Amanda?
You already know how my Facebook page looks.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how I am. I'm very, very out. I've always been, though. So
Okay.
in my 30s, it's gotten worse.
So it's gotten worse. So that's good. That's good. And you think, you being a mother, you would feel like you have to be more
I take my
conservative.
kids everywhere I go. I
Yeah.
travel with
No,
them.
I see that, which
Whenever
is a
they with
beautiful
their
thing.
father, I travel by myself
Yeah.
with my friends and stuff like that. I'm always out and about. I can't sit still. I think that's
What about you, Mike?
I think I dialed it back a little bit. I mean, I've always been somebody that's open and speaking to everybody and whatever. But as I got older, I got more not skeptical, but I got more cautious of people. So
Yeah.
that made me be like, I'm gonna wait and see how you are first. You know what I mean? Instead of just, hey, what's up? Nah, I don't know you like that.
Originally, I would have said I became more homebody because my wife is kind of less going out, kind of stuff like that. You kind of adapt to your partner. But within the last couple of years, I've kind of felt like, starting with podcasting and just taking the opportunity and just like, yo, you got one life to live. If you have a voice, use your voice. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm becoming more outgoing because I'm not saying no to a lot of things. I'm just more like, you know what? I'll think about it, or let me just try it. If it fell, it fell. But at the end of the day, I tried. Because the worst thing that you can grow old with is what if. Right? A lot of things I look back like, what if? And then you create these scenarios that may be true or may not be true, but you'll never know because you never tried. What about you?
I think in my 30s I'm more or less outgoing because in my 20s I was wild. Like, I was wild. But right now I'm just focusing on building my capital for my daughter.
Yeah.
So when you focus on building, I'm always at work.
Yeah.
I'm always at work. I work 5 days, 16 hours a day and stuff because I know when she gets older, she's gonna have certain amount in account. She's gonna be good. I don't gotta worry about her worrying about what man she chooses to make sure she good. So I'm very less outgoing than I was in my 20s, whatever. So I think.
But you feel like in a positive way.
in a positive way
Not
because
that you're not growing anymore, but
no,
you're
I'm
less
growing.
wild.
I'm growing when it comes to being more mature, finances, and building my capital. But other than like the other stuff that I was doing, that meant going to the club 3-4 days a week.
you was doing that.
Yeah.
I was doing
Damn,
going to
that
club
is a
3-4 days a week, still working. I
Yeah, after college, I used to do that.
I would
After
put a
college, I
suitcase
couldn't
in
do
my
it.
car, change up, hit the club with my
Yo, you
man.
were crazy.
Yeah.
Hit the club with my man, and my man worked with my job. We would leave the strip club, come right back and do the shift 16 hours again.
That's the
do
crazy
it
thing.
again.
Because he
Wild boy
works.
right there.
He starts work at 6 a.m, will still go out, sleep for 2 hours.
A little bit, but
But that's what I'm saying. But now,
Yeah.
but now it's like after 16 hours, my man hit me up. "Oh, we gonna go here." I'm like, I know I'm not going, but just so they can still put me
Feel like you part of the game.
Or you part of the
Like,
game. I know I'm
maybe.
not going, so I
Maybe.
hit him like when I'm on my way home. I'm like, nah, dog. I know I'm going home to watch the Wayans Brothers and call it the night.
Call it the night.
That's real talk. But in my
Yeah.
20s, I'm like, you know what? On my lunch break, let me go get an outfit. Let me go get this, whatever. And then I would hit it with them. But now I'm not doing that. So it's
And,
different.
and being in the comfort zone, like Views from the Friend Zone, the reason why I came up with that topic, because I'm always giving like advice and sometimes give relationship advice. And I don't have a track record of being a player, but just like looking at things from an outside perspective, I can give people that kind of opinion. So like stepping out of the comfort zone to me is just like also like, how you operate on your regular basis is just like, sometimes if you continue to have the same actions, you get the same result.
That's a fact.
And then you got to ask yourself, are you happy with the results that you've been having? If not, you got to do something. There's a quote that said, everything you want is on the other side of fear, which means once you get past your hiccups and what you're scared of, everything that you really want to grab in life is there. You just have to get over the, being scared. So this leads us to the last question on this topic, right? Is what things have you said no in the past to that you're now going to say yes to going forward? Jennifer? Okay. So we'll start with you, Open Shirt Poppy. What things have you said no to in the past that you're now going to start saying yes to going forward?
Monogamy.
That is deep.
I haven't said no to it verbally, but through my actions, I've said no to it. So I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah.
Don't sound so depressed.
Yeah, right? He sounds like a wounded, they got me.
Sound really depressed.
They got me.
Hold on, I gave him Open Shirt Poppy. I'm gonna call you.
Nice close shirt, Poppy.
I'm gonna call you.
Button up, daddy.
I'm gonna call him Stevie J of Queens
That sounds about right.
because
Yeah.
I think you're changing the game a little bit on us.
He's like, I'll try
Monogamy.
I'm just saying, you said try something different. So
Nah, I'm
that's
joking.
different.
So what about you, Cliff? What things have you said no to in the past that you're not gonna start saying yes to?
Nah, I gotta think about that one. That's kind of difficult.
So for me, it's just like, I for a long time I hated going out. I just the energy of like going out during the week and stuff like that. Now I go to after work parties. I network. There's a community of black podcasters that I'm really cool with now, and they'll have events, and I go to it, and I go there, and I meet people and stuff like that. And part of it is for me to like continue to build my network, and part of me is like, you know what? In order for me to really have perspective on what people are going through, I got to talk to people and not necessarily my circle. So I'll go to these things and I'll have conversations with strangers, and they'll be like, oh, you do a podcast? And I'll tell them what's about, then I'll ask them questions. And that way, not that I bring people's business on air, but I bring scenarios that people have and like, yo, this is the kind of situation I had. So when I tell you this advice, is just like, because this is what I'm hearing people are going through. This is the kind of things that people... So to me, it's just like, people invite me to things. And, when you first get married, one of the hardest things is your single friends start thinking like, he's married. They toss you to the side. So then you start looking at all these events going on like, why I didn't get invited to? It's because you're married now. So now
People
all
treat
my
you like that
friends
with kids.
invite me, right? Exactly.
Stop getting invited.
So invite me. I may say yes, I may say no, but my movement for 18 and going into 19 is I'm starting to say yes more to go to these things, especially things that I haven't experienced before, because that's part of that life growth. So I could tell you that I don't like things because I've tried it. Another thing, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but not that I say yes to now more than no. I was telling people that, marijuana, with it being illegal growing up. Hear me out. I don't smoke yet, but with marijuana...
30s and want to get high.
No, but with marijuana being illegal, you could get caught up in stuff like that. I always stayed away from it. But now...
You need to smoke to have a successful marriage.
But now edibles. Now I'm willing to try edibles. And you get good experience,
too.
right? So
listen,
I try edibles now. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't understand it because
My family feel like, oh, you in your 30s
Yeah,
and
like,
90s.
I
I'm not out here getting high, but I'm trying edibles
I say
and
my
I'm
age 'cause
experimenting.
I'm not sure. I'm 33 years old. I never smoked weed a day in my life. Drinking, it's a different ball game. but
I'm not out here trying to chase dog food and stick heroin in my arm. I'm not going out there, but I'll try an edible. You know what I'm saying? I'll see what that's about.
nothing wrong with that.
Listen, no, it is something wrong with that because you never know.
You're very
He's a fuzz right now. He sounded like a narc. He's a narc.
Listen, you don't know what's going on with marijuana all the time. Cats be lacing joints you don't know.
Yeah,
If
but
you don't-
edibles.
listen, if you don't know,
I'm talking about. I try edibles from official stores.
You don't know who's official in the marijuana. You're talking crazy.
But people.
Listen,
If,
come
if-
on.
If people
You
are,
don't know
if
who's
people are in the
official with the
business
store.
of it,
You-
they know it could come back to them. It's kind of a. It's a risk trying anything that's like not over the
You
counter. So I feel
cannot
that.
listen. And that's another story.
Sound like fun. So, what things have you said no to in the past that you now will say
it's
yes?
funny 'cause it's exactly what you said. I'm the total opposite from you. When I was 20, I'm still in my 20s, but I never wanted to go out. Like, my friends like, hey, let's go. You would have thought I was the old married lady because I never wanted to go anywhere. I'm like, no, I got this going on. So now I'm like, I'm trying. I go out more. Anybody who knows me, they'll know, like, she ain't coming, she ain't never. But I'm learning to go out a lot more now because it's like, why not? I'm single. So
Why is that though? You if that's not your personality, I don't think you should try to be.
It's to grow. It's
right,
you never know.
And it's not that it's not my personality. I'm a homebody, but every now and then when I'm home, it's just like, damn, like I see my sisters, everybody move. I'm like, I need to get up and do something. Like I don't, when I'm in my mode, like I'm cool, like I'm home, I'm chilling.
And I also gotta say this, and not to sound sexist, but it's just like you have a finite amount of years to be young and fine and vibrant. Don't waste that time. Go out there. I'm not telling you to thot. But if you got a thought, you know what I'm saying? Go out there and live to your best thought ability.
I don't know about
Listen,
I
love thought.
I'm gonna tell you. Hold on.
I love that.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, single ladies, something too. I'm gonna tell you something, single
Tell
ladies
us
too.
something.
Yes.
Clem.
And it's real. So this is nothing that's gonna be disrespectful. But what I'm saying is, if you waiting for that dude to ring the doorbell and say, "Yo, let's get together,"
Prince Charming is not coming to your door.
Hold on, let me finish.
Yeah.
The reason why I always tell my brother this, even with the podcast
That's a
movement,
fact.
I said, listen, bro, I know 1,000 people. I done hit people. I haven't seen her in years.
Right.
In years, I seen a post of her book. She was plugging automatic. I hit her. I said, listen, come on, because you got a network.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. People are not gonna ring your doorbell if you're dating or whatever you do and tell you, listen. Come up here, come do this. You gotta. If you're not putting yourself in front
But
street.
that's for the single people that are looking for someone.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
I'm not
No, listen, it's not even about looking. You gotta go to certain events just to be in light.
In
to
the
find
loop.
somebody.
That's very
Because
true.
You can post 1,001 picture how good you look. Everybody gonna comment, girl, you looking
Yes.
sexy, you looking good. Even the dudes, you post your whatever pics. But if you at home just chilling, nobody's gonna come.
That's a very
You're not
big
gonna
thing
find
because
anybody.
I felt like because I don't go out and I don't know that many people. Like my siblings, they know everybody. But I feel like it went there. Like the book got out there because of them, and that's not because of me because I don't really know that many people. I know them
It's
because
a saying,
of them.
your net worth is established by your network,
And
right?
if you're trying to build a brand, if you're
Yeah.
trying to build a brand and this is your passion, you gotta hustle hard.
Yeah.
Listen, if you don't hustle hard, you're not gonna eat. That's why I'm always at work. Plain period. I don't want to be in the club anymore, popping bottles and stuff, whatever, because that's not my lifestyle. I'll be lying. I might take certain pictures when I do go out. That's just for
a little
that's,
bit.
social media.
Let them know I'm still in the game. I'm like Mitch.
I know
Will they
that.
love me if I leave the game?
You know what I'm saying?
So Amanda, what things have you said no to in the past that you're now saying yes?
I would say more traveling. I need a travel buddy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like to go
No.
places. Yeah, I was thinking,
Yeah.
you don't hang out, we can hang out. I know a lot of
Absolutely.
spots.
You know, but
I'm with that.
travel is another big thing, especially people of color, right? Because a lot of times people of color, we die like
Unless somebody else spend
staying
their
within
money.
our own state, right? There was a stat, and don't get me, I'm not going to spit out the percentage because I forgot, but it was just like a number like 30-40% people die only traveling within their state.
I can't be like that. I
You
mean,
know
like
what I'm
I said
saying?
to you before, I travel with my kids, but as well, I need an adult travel partner because I want to go to different places.
Yeah.
I missed out on going to Australia, and that, I don't like stuff like that.
And also, you got to thought when you could thought, right?
Oh my
And part of
God.
thoughting is traveling to different countries and thoughting. Like you can't say, listen, hear me out.
Oh
You
my
can't say,
God.
I don't
you
thought.
listen,
I go out to
you
eat.
can't say you mastered
Thoughting.
thoughting if you never thoughted in another country.
Oh my
Right?
God.
International thoughting is the best,
That's
right?
Okay, wait. All right. When I travel, it's looking at the
Like
neighborhood.
Mexico,
Like
people go to
thoughting.
Cancun
Enjoying
to
the
thought.
scenery,
If you
like
went
what
to
happened
Cancun
that
and you
on the
haven't
beach?
thoughted,
Hold
why
on,
did you go to
hold on.
Cancun for?
Listen,
I'm
nah,
talking about single people, not
no,
married
no,
people.
no.
Married people, we out of that equation.
I know,
I
I'm not
went to
saying that.
Miami and I wasn't a thought when I was in Miami.
Yeah,
like,
and
I
Miami's
was
the thought
surrounded by
capital of the
thoughts.
United States.
That is Miami,
Miami and not that.
Miami
that's the
and Atlanta.
thought
That is not
capital.
my intentions. Yeah, thank
Okay,
you. Thank
so we're gonna go to the last topic of the show, and then we'll go back to talking about what you got going on, right? So this topic is Ask the Zone. Ask the Zone.
We
is-
actually got people here, so we can ask them if they want to come up.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
What we could have them, opine on the question. Amanda, fields our questions about Ask the Zone. So we're gonna have you.
He
put it
wants
up.
to ask the question of the day.
Okay, so are you
Yeah.
gonna read the question? Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Talking to the mic, bro.
I got you. So hey there. All right. Ask the Zone here. My girlfriend and I have been living together for a while, and for the last few months on the weekends, she's been hanging out with her friends, coming home really late, or should I say, early in the morning, like around 4:30 or 5. There has been times the sun has come up and she's still not home.
She's living her best life. Go ahead.
She knows I don't like it, but tries to reassure me that she's truly with her friends, going to bars, having girls' night, whatever. And it's not that serious. I can honestly say I'm not sure if she's cheating. That has crossed my mind. Deep down, it pisses me off, and I feel she needs to have more respect and come home earlier. What or how can I make this stop and get my point across that it's wrong without sounding like a father giving a curfew?
First of all, she has too many damn single friends. So her single friends are out dotting, and she's trying to chase after them and live with them. Because let's keep it 100. Everyone knows women who have men fall back the best, more so than men who have women. Ask yourself, ladies, when your homegirl gets a new man, is she out in the streets with you like she used to be?
She went to jail.
No.
She went to jail.
No,
You gotta go visit her.
she switched the game up. So she's out with her single friends trying to chase after thotting.
Listen, you know what I say about that is it's all how he said it present in his relationship, right? Because my wife, even when we was dating, I told her straight up, you have no male friends. I got a lot of basketball friends. I got a lot of friends. You see, my brother, all these whatever, these are your friends now. Because male friends is trying to fuck. I said the president. Because listen.
Come on, Cliff.
Listen what I'm trying to tell you. If she come home at 4:35 in the morning, the club ends at 3 o'clock, 3:30, whatever. If you want to get a bite to eat, whatever, she better be FaceTiming me everywhere she go from that time. It's not, listen.
You staying there till the club closed anyway. Like, you closing down the club,
Yeah.
really?
Dudes close.
How do you know how old this dude
It's
is?
not even, listen.
He's our age, right?
Listen. Why are you staying out till 4 or 5 in the morning? Well, what man's gonna be secure about that?
So I got twofold on this.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
What man's gonna be secure
Because
about
this
that?
is what I say, and I have dealt with this in other relationships, not this particular situation, but I hate it when a girl switches up when we get in a relationship and then wants to become a homebody. I want you to be who you were
that same
when
energy.
I first dealt with you. I want you to keep your friends who you had before. All right, because I don't want you feeling like you invested all yourself in me and you lost part of yourself. Now your friends is blaming me because they don't see you. And really, I'm telling you, go out.
but
Go
you
out.
know
My thing about this is, I'll let you answer, it's like he's saying this is all the time. In our age, going out partying and stuff like that should be like 1, maybe 2 weekends a month. But if she's doing this all the time,
Now, once 2
there's
weekends a
something
month
wrong.
is kinda, I mean, she could go out. Listen. I work.
1 or 2 times.
I don't care. Listen.
You think that's too much or too little?
That's too little. Listen.
That's too little going out every week,
You know
every
what?
weekend.
You know what? Listen.
Wait,
It's all up.
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm like, is this his wife or his girlfriend?
He
I'm
said
like,
girlfriend.
girlfriend is kind of the key word. Like, I don't know if it's a living girlfriend or.
Oh, they live together. Oh, that changes it.
So you say if he like it, he should put a ring on it. Until she put a ring on it,
I
she
mean,
can
I
thought.
feel like he didn't say she was thotting.
But that's what he's assuming, though.
I mean, he's assuming it, but at the same time, all right, if she's going out that much, okay, that could become a little bit of a problem. But at the end of the day, like, you're not my husband. Like, if you want to play that role, you got to put a ring on it. Like, who are you to tell me what to do? You my
It's not
boyfriend.
How y'all feel about
Listen,
that?
It's not about telling what to do, right? Because at the end of the day, like I said, I work a lot. I do whatever. And my wife is in a sorority, so she goes a lot to a lot of events. I want her to go. So when we had our baby, that was the best thing because now she's not worried about my lifestyle. So I want her to go out. It's not about going out, but be respectful. And listen, if you going out, just text me where you going. I don't even care what you put. But coming home 4 or 5 in the morning, and it's not gonna make me feel comfortable knowing I did 16 hours. And you coming home 5? I'm gonna hold on. Somebody piping it. I don't even got the. Listen, I ain't got time.
My beef with the situation is like this, right?
How would you feel if your wife
No,
was
that's
doing
no, because I don't. That's all right. That's right. I'm not even front, but I don't even have to worry about that, right? Because it's not even. My thing about it is like this. I'm assuming he's a working adult and she's a working
They
adult.
both work.
So if we working during the week, we really only got time to really kick it and build on the weekend. And you out thotting on the weekend. So how are they growing?
Oh my gosh, that word is crazy.
So what
So
type
go
of
out
advice
look.
would you give him?
I would tell him like, yo, he has to tell her like, look, we gotta work it out where it's just like, okay, partying, hanging out and stuff like that. There has to be some kind of limits to it. One weekend or 2 weekends a month, cool. But we gotta have weekends where we build together. We go out and date.
You know
and
why
stuff.
I don't say about the limit thing is because, listen,
Nobody likes
you
lemons
can
put
you
on
can go to 'cause a lot of girls now they
But
don't.
how
they don't
are you in
even
a
party.
relationship if
Listen.
you don't see your partner on the weekend?
No, listen. It's okay if you going to dinner parties or whatever and coming home on a respectful night. If you coming home at listen, even when I go out, 3 o'clock, that call gets yo. Where you at? She like the Undertaker. She just set the
Wake
alarm
up out her
up.
sleep.
Only thing out past 2 o'clock is trouble.
Listen, 3 o'clock.
It's only trouble past 2, 3
Like,
o'clock.
oh, where you at? I'm like, listen, I'm about to go to IHOP, my man's. I'm gonna come home with you. But I know that call's coming. I know that call's coming. A woman be out 4 or 5 in the morning. Come on, you getting
You
piped
know what
down.
this make me think of?
You getting
This
piped
make me
down.
think
not
of.
true.
No. Because
Pipe
it makes me
down.
think of.
I joke too much with the dotting, but
hold on.
coming home 4 or 5 in the morning
You getting piped
every
down.
single weekend.
Every single
Yeah.
week you getting
Every
piped
single
down.
week, okay, that's a bit much.
That's too
but
much.
I wouldn't say she's getting piped down.
She
It
get
makes
piped
me
down.
think of in Boomerang when Eddie Murphy. That was business too. When he went, he saw his ex Robin Givens after he, had Hallie already waiting at home for him. You know what I mean? And she was like, "Love should have brought your ass home last night."
That's a fact.
He said he had to go for a walk. He had some things in his head he had to clear up. But nah, with this specific situation, bruh, first of all, she's just being disrespectful. If you're thinking that she's cheating, that's a whole nother thing that y'all had to discuss. Y'all need to communicate on. Because just because somebody's going out and hanging out too late, that don't mean they cheating. They are being disrespectful.
But he should have said
She's
the
being
president
disrespectful.
early.
Yeah,
Early
well, you
for
can do it now. It's not too late. You don't want to come at her like you a father and say, listen, your curfew is 2 or 3. No, you don't want to do that. You just be like, yo, you respect me, right? So if you respect me, understand that I can't accept this. I respect you enough to come home at a reasonable time. Or if I don't come home at a reasonable time, I'm going to call you and be like, listen, this is why I'm not making it, blah, blah, blah. I'm constant communication.
Yeah.
But if she's doing this regular and he's already voiced, I don't know, he said he voiced his opinion on it already? Yeah, she disrespecting you.
I
bro.
mean, how much turn up
to the curb.
How much turn up does she? How much turn up does she have in her? Like,
I
there's
have a
got to be a
question.
limit to the turn up.
What is a reasonable time? If you was in a relationship or with you
No,
and your
my
wife,
thing is if
what's
it's
the reasonable time for
once
your wife
hear
to
me.
be home.
So let me answer that. If it's once or twice a month kind of thing, then I don't have a problem if she comes home at 4 in the morning because you know what? This is a rare thing. But if you're doing it every weekend, to me it's just like you're not out here doing in relationship kind of things. You're acting as if you're out there and available. So I'm not gonna use the word I've been using all episode, but it leads me to
now
assume
you're not gonna use
no
it.
because
The last 2
because you're
minutes.
saying I'm killing it, but it leads me to assume that you're not happy with just spending time with me. Don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to kill you from having fun with your friend, but if you're telling me every weekend, Friday and Saturday, you out to 5, 4 in the morning, every weekend of every
Because
month.
what are you looking for? What are you looking for?
My advice is like this. You got to tell her like, yo, the turn up is cool on occasion. But if you feel like you need to turn up every weekend, Friday and Saturday of every week of the month, then I don't think you want to be in a relationship. I think you're still out there chasing single life.
No, I was gonna tell her the time. The appropriate time, what you call if she's in a relationship and she has respect for a man. 3 o'clock is cool. 3 whatever. But if she's not on like a,
She could go out Friday and Saturday every week.
I don't listen. At the end of the day, real talk. If a girl gonna do whatever, she could fucking do in 2 minutes. A guy could fuck it in 2 minutes. Sex is 2-3 minutes. To keep it 100. Yeah. So I never put restriction on what they're gonna do because they're gonna do it regardless, right? So out of respect for me, I said the president, I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is. So when we get in a relationship, you already know. All right, my man ain't into that. So we don't gotta play no games. If you going out, how am I gonna feel? I'm a married man. My wife go out 4 o'clock every week, and Friday, Saturday, and I just told you I work all the time. She has enough time to get a whole new relationship.
He set the president. He told her. He talked to her and said, "I'm not liking this. You still doing it. You gotta go."
okay.
So what's
You
his
gotta
advice
go.
to him? Because we got limited time.
No, that's what he should say. This is the advice, bro. She gotta go.
His advice is saying, listen, Obviously,
She
you wanna
out there looking for something.
Obviously, you want to be single. I'm
Yeah.
gonna take a step back and let you figure out when you're ready to commit to what I got going on. Then you come back. But right now, you want to live your best life. Live your best life.
So let's have the ladies end the segment. What do you feel? What's your advice to this man?
I'll let her go. Go ahead.
I feel as though I agree. It's downright disrespectful. You're doing it every single weekend. At this point, I'm not gonna say kick her to the curb, but I think I agree with what Cliff said. It's like you want to do this, go do you. When you ready, maybe I'll be here, maybe I won't. But honestly, if he already told her and she's still doing her, she wants to be single.
It's a fact.
I told him that I feel like she wants to be single, and maybe they should.
And maybe they, like you said, they're living together. Maybe she just needs you for the half of the rent.
Hello.
And you gotta evaluate that, right? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta put that out there, because at the end of the day, why waste each other's time?
Yeah.
If we don't have a vision of growing together, we have a vision of growing apart.
That's a
So
fact.
why waste each other's time? You know what I'm saying? So that's the end of the regular segment. We want to give Jennifer another shot to, talk about the book, where they can get it and all that stuff like that.
So the book is available, again, Amazon.com, Kindle. If you have Kindle Unlimited, or if you're a member, Kindle Unlimited is free. It's $11.99 on Amazon.
That's a great price.
Yeah.
Reasonable, very reasonable.
And I thought it was a little too high, but
No, it's
you
good.
know.
That's a good
Because
price.
I know Amazon take their cut. That's very reasonable.
Yeah, they
very
do.
reasonable.
They definitely do. It's a real. I know to my horn, but it's a good
No,
book.
toot your own
I know.
horn.
Yeah.
I actually got great feedback. It's not the typical dragging. Some books is like it drags and
Yeah.
it gets straight to the point. Everything is like
I like
okay,
that.
and a lot of people said it's unpredictable. Check out those reviews on Amazon.
Nice.
Very unpredictable. I had to write what I like to read. I don't like to read books that's just like, all right, what are you talking about? When are you gonna get
Yeah.
to the point? Like
Yeah.
it gets right to the point,
Yeah.
and it's very relatable. Like who doesn't have dysfunction in their family?
fact.
You know,
Nice.
we all got the auntie, the uncle, the mama. So it's definitely a good read.
And let them know your social media so that they can follow you.
Okay, I have 2 Instagrams. I don't have Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah.
One of my Instagram is Jenny_Penny, and the other one is Inherited_Dysfunction.
Okay.
And if anybody is in the Queens area, I will be in Rochdale September 9th. I'm going to have a table. You could come and get a book.
Is that
get your books
Rochdale
on.
Day?
Yeah.
Rochdale Day. Okay, cool.
Festival, Rochdale Day. Oh, cool. So, yeah, definitely come out there. I'll be out there with some books ready to sell.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, what the crew got going on?
Hey, happy Labor Day to everybody. I was out there, Sapa say my boule to my Haitian people.
Sakafet.
With the blood clot to my Jamaicans, Trinidadians, whatever. Be safe out there. I know y'all turning up, acting a fool. Just be safe and celebrate, your heritage. That's all I got.
Shout out to my homegirl Jamie, and I sell soy candles. These guys
Yes.
are always getting on
Plug
me
it in. You
gotta
about
plug
talking
it,
about my
yeah.
candles. It's Amanda Marie's Home Collection. You can hit me up on Instagram and Facebook. I'm like her. I don't have Twitter. I don't even know how to work it. I don't even have Snapchat.
I used to have Twitter, but I feel like Twitter's kind of dying down.
So yeah.
Go ahead.
So, shout out to all the people who's been supporting the podcast. Go out and support Jennifer Hunter's book, Inherited Dysfunction.
Get
It's
that.
a beautiful thing to, support Black authors, because the Black story needs to be heard. Obviously, we're in a day and age where everyone's stuck with visuals, but we still need to create thoughts with reading. We still need reading comprehension.
That's a fact.
So that's a big
Fundamental.
thing, So
I
go
gotta
out to,
start reading more too.
go out
realize
to
that
support, all of our Black authors, and big ups to all that. What I was gonna say. So on a less serious note, this is the last weekend to Thought, right? Because it's Labor Day weekend.
Oh my gosh!
You know what I'm saying? Hold on. This is your last weekend to, shake your ass with no consequences. The kids start school on Tuesday.
Yeah, going back.
So now you ask, you a parent again, grandma's gonna start watching the kids for the summer. No. There's now you need to start thinking about, what you're gonna be doing for the winter, your cuffing season, getting your lineup strong. Nah, but seriously, it's Labor Day weekend. Go out, enjoy yourself. Continue to support the podcast, Views from the Friend Zone, with the podcast of the people. We're gonna leave it to Clifford to send us away.
Shout out to everybody on Labor Day. Be safe. But I wanted to say, people, stop using your social media for just the pictures. Plug yourself. You have to plug yourself,
That's a
right?
fact.
I haven't seen this girl in years. I seen she has something positive going on. And I work in a jail environment, not to say exactly where I work, but you got to plug yourself. Social media is cool to take 100,000 pictures and everybody be like, oh, you popping. If you got something important going on, plug yourself. Use it usefully, right? Listen, you want to leave your job, you want to build yourself, this is the time now, because if you wait for somebody else to do it, nobody's going to do it. So I'm saying use your social media positive. Don't just use it for just the turn-ups and the likes and whatever.
thought.
And listen. On a serious note is also we coming on our 50th episode soon, and
Yeah.
we want to get to do a podcast party. Also, we're gonna do a live podcast party. We're gonna let the dates know. We're gonna talk about it. But please use your social media for positive things. Like, plug yourself. If you don't build your brand, nobody else will. That's what I want to say.
And like I always say to people, go out there and chase your legacy and not your liabilities, because your legacy lasts longer. And we out. Peace. Views from the Friend Zone.
From the friend zone. I'm trying to reach the end zone. You think I'm kinda sweet and you wanna be friends though? It's cool though. Just don't try to play me for no fool, yo. Views from the friend zone. I'm trying to reach the end zone. You think I'm kinda sweet and you wanna be friends though? It's cool though. Just don't try to play me for no fool, yo.